Hello, YouTube. All right. I'm not going to lie. I'm 2 cups to the wind. So, there's a couple videos I want to be doing. Maybe I'll get it done. Maybe I won't because I'm a super cheap drunk. It just takes like one drink to just mess me up. All right. So what we have here is my preferred incense. Now, I get incense from other people. I'll buy hand-rolled incense from witches I've known forever on the internet, like Archaic Honey. I love her shit. But these are my favorite incenses, and it's a company called Sacred Elephant. I believe they're out of England, possibly London. Blue Lotus is one of my favorites. This time I got 1969 Third Eye. And you can go to their website and Monk, which is a special edition. They run out. So, I mean, one of those scarcity freak out things. But Himalayan Musk is one of my favorites. And the Cedar is one of my favorite. In fact, I think I'm going to burn some cedar. Let's do some cedar. I'll be right back. All right, so yeah, I got that taken care of. So I got some cedar burning, but the incense is hand rolled and it's really nice. Kind of didn't make me want to puke. So this is kind of a VR. It might be a VR mashup, but here we go. These 2 decks, I like to watch like teeny tiny channels, but I also really love the bigger channels or the older channels or, the weirder channels. But one of my favorites right now is Tarot Shrink. And Natalia did one on Tarot Deck Mods the other day. So I got this, this is the first edition off Indiegogo. Crystal Unicorn Tarot by Pamela Chen. This bag was done by Moonlit Faye. I believe she's done doing that. Here's the extra card, Do Not Worry. And yeah, so this deck came on great cardstock. In fact, I think that the mass markets were even pretty good cardstock. But really great reversible backs. Total RWS clone, but with unicorns. Yay! And the mod I did on this was to exactly match the backs. So where there's a little yellow star, there's yellow. And where there's a black line, there's a little bit of black. Where there's some darker yellow, almost orange, kind of purple. And my favorite parts is where there's a little bit of green. And it goes all the way around, just like that. Yeah. But yeah, this is... I didn't do this in my Stormtroopers because they kind of talked about this one in the live chat. But I freaking love this one. This is one of those decks that makes you smile. You can't help it. If you don't smile when you're looking at these perfect little Rider-Waite-Smith images with unicorns, then you have you're mean. Okay, so it goes right in this little bag and on the back stack. Okay. So, and then this is the first edition of the Oracle of Echoes by Anatorian. And I've been seeing her all over the intraweb since I started getting back into it. But here we go. This is the first edition Oracle of Echoes. And, this was good for me. So I didn't get the next edition. I love the Bone Stone. I love Tarot of the Abyss. Love to have the Arthurian. That's definitely on the wish list, people. Oh, yeah, all the time. Okay, but, all right. So this is one of my favorite mods that I've ever done. And this one, again, goes right with the backs of the cards all the way around. A little bit of gold. It just makes it kind of more special, right? So that's Oracle of Echoes, Anna Turian. Yeah, that's this is just going to be a deck mod thing. Okay. The next one that kind of went with the backs. Kind of. Well, it actually more goes with the fronts. I'm sorry. Goes with the fronts. This is the 4th edition, and it's called the last edition because she wasn't going to do it anymore. She had gotten some messages that pissed her off. She was done with tarot. This is before even the Stunning Tarot was happening. But this, but Yunasa Yaos, yeah, she has since turned this deck into quite the indie sweetheart. This is the Yunasa Yaos Tarot by Yunasa Yaos. I love this 3 of Cups. And this is kind of a Marseille-based, styled after plants. The oros or coins are buttercups. La reina. The copas are daisies. The bastos are ginger plants. Oh, I love this lovers too. Espadas. How cool is this? Look at the estrella. Bastos. And the espadas, I believe, is orchids because they're an air flower. Wands or bastos is ginger because it's a hot flower, right? The buttercup looks like money and it's golden. So yeah, the mod I did on this was to match these primary colors, the yellow, the kind of greenish yellow, the blue, the purple, and I used those colors on the edges, kind of with the cards that are primarily that color, and I left the titles off because I like these titles. Yeah, so that is my Yunasa Yaos mod. I don't have a bag for this. Where did I see? I saw somebody with a bag for this that was amazing. Okay, let's look at something. This was one of the first decks I did. Okay, so I remember there didn't used to be people modding tarot decks on YouTube. You didn't used to have a bunch of people that would show you how, tell you what to get. It was me DMing Kelly Fitzgerald of the Truth and Stories saying, hey, how did you do that? And her going, well, I just use scissors. I can't do that. I can't just use scissors. Well, I did. And so what you get is these really kind of wonky edges. But this is Druidcraft. And for one thing, you can't work with Druidcraft until you trim it. It's so big. So everyone trims it at some point or another. And I ended up trimming it to the very inside stone border, which I thought looked cool. leaves me a little border. I did the edges in this kind of muddy brown to kind of match the backs. This deck, despite the wonky trim job, I really enjoyed. I did a 78-day Instagram challenge with it. So I'm incredibly familiar with these images. And I love them. When I lived in Hawaii, my kid's dad used to trap wild pigs, and we ate them routinely. They were delicious. Yeah. Oof. Such good. These are some of my favorite quartz anywhere. I love these quartz. So clever, so interesting, so kind of Druidy and Celtic, and yeah, very cool mod. One of my earliest mods. Another one of my earlier mods, and I didn't bring the Tarot of the Magical Forest because I just recently showed that, like the last one, but this is the Chicoli Tarot, and I got this very early on. I edged it in like blue and green, and I took the borders off. I marked them. And I just trimmed, I didn't have a corner trimmer at the time. So I just trimmed the corners so they're triangles, which I kind of like. It feels old. But this one is beat to shreds. Oh, I mean, when you get these cards in readings, they have so much to say. People discount this deck and say, oh, well, the images were already drawn and I didn't get it and I had to rearrange it. But that is an evocative image. That image has a lot to say. God, you know, the phone going on in the background? I'm sorry, but it is what it is. My husband is a paraplegic now because he did not receive good care in the emergency room or through workman's comp. And so when he gets these people on the phone, they are phone calls that have to happen. Anyway, yeah, Chicoli, great freaking tarot for just deep readings, wonderful stuff. And, you know, it wouldn't be the same without that mod. The mod makes it different. All right, I show you guys this all the time. However, this was my first deck. It was a deck somebody sent me in the mail. And I did, you know, the deep spiral of learning tarot with this top deck. And nobody to tell me how. I cut all the edges off. It is marked very lightly. It used to be darker, but it's worn off. But it doesn't matter. I know these cards like the back of my hand, and I love this deck. So the borders were taken off, the corners are rounded, and it is edged in different colors that is meant to match these backs. You can't hardly even tell anymore what those colors are. It's just worn away, that's kind of cool too. It's cool when your mods get so used that you don't even recognize them as mods anymore. And somebody pulled this deck out. I wish I could remember who it was. I don't think it was, I don't remember who it was, but they had gotten it in a trade or in a recent haul. Maybe it was, I don't remember, but this is the Goddess Tarot by Chris Walder. It's a really, really German name, but these are amazing works of art. And this deck, in its original state, has two great big borders. One that's this color, and then a white one, I think. It's ridiculous because this artwork needed to be oracle sized. This artwork is gorgeous. This is one of those cards, that one card. This is one. Wow. I mean, just wow. Isis. Just come on. Give us more of this. This is real art painted by real people who just have a great love for the goddesses. Aphrodite. There we go. Okay, so, and that is the goddess tarot. I took the edges off, and I think I did that. And I think that's the same marker that I used on the Druid Craft. So there's that. Okay, I love well, should I do the other one? No, I'll do the other one after this. So this is one that I was watching people with this deck, and I was like, I just want that to try and mod it. So I traded for this deck and another one for some deck I was, I had already had some time with, and I was okay with trading. And this is the Raven's Prophecy deck. And again, just fabulously gorgeous artwork, which, if you think about it, you can tell what these are, right? You can't help but know, but they are lightly marked with like a red fine Sharpie. And the edges are like white and black, but the backs, because when you take the border off, that orange border, the backs end up like really crooked. Like if you have anxiety about that kind of stuff, you can't handle it. So I had backing paper ready in black, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna look so cool with the black backs, and I ran out. So I ended up having to do some of them in this like hollow paper that I had for some other project. So I can't tell what's what because I don't know where I stopped and where I started, which is fine. And actually I ended up kind of liking it. And at first, when you do the backs with this tacky paper, the edges are kind of gluey. But after you use it for a while, that gluey thing goes away, just so you know. Yeah, and this bag even came with it. The lady that traded with me. God, I have had so many great trades over the years. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one, and then we'll move on to a couple of my super favorites. Oh my God. Okay, so this is the first edition mass market Schiffer. It's Schiffer, right? Am I lying? I hope not. Is this Schiffer? Schiffer Publishing, yeah. And it is 2012. So Mary Ellen, I mean, when you first see Mary Ellen, it is so intimidating. You're like, oh, hell no. So this sat on my shelf for a year before I touched it. And I am not the only one who said that. But I listened to what everyone else did, and I trimmed all the borders off except for a very skinny black line around the edges. And I marked mine because I was still doing that. Even though now, if the marking were gone, I think I would know these pretty well. I've been through a couple video series. Some of the great ones are Chris from Elemental Cartomancy has done just a whole fabulous series where he did live readings, and we went through every section of these cards, and they're just better without borders. The second edition, I believe, is borderless, but it's got like titles. I don't know. Once again, my magic is all zhuzhed in this one. And despite the fact that despite the fact that I really am uncomfortable with that Hierophant card, and even this one, the 9 of Cups, I think it is, yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's better in its original state, in my opinion. You know, everybody has different opinions. And I love the first book. And I'm fine with cardstock, and it's groovy. It's cool. I love it. Yay! Okay, so that's the Marielle. Now, last two, y'all. Hang with me. The last two I'm going to show you I'll show them in order too, because I think the first one's even better. So, I saw, oh shucks, who's the Aussie girl? Oh man, she is so cool. She has all the good rune decks. The one with Ratty, and oh god, my brain is gone. I've had a couple beverages, but so this is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. And it is edged different colors to go with the 4 different suits. It's like people, places, tools, and something else. I don't know. The king. Let's see. What are the blue ones? The bridge. The vow. What are the green ones? Venom. The creator. So I did a lot to this deck. I went through the guidebook, picked out words from Kim Cran's description. Those are these ones. Then when words came to me that I felt connected me with this archetype, I put them in a color, whatever color I had in my hand at the time. And then I stretched the cardstock. You got to be careful. Don't rip it. Just stretch it. Okay. And I worked in some fanning powder. So this deck works a little better than it once did. But yeah, it's better to take a little at a time and do it like that. So yeah, that is my archetypes. And so when I heard she was doing the alchemy, I couldn't get it quick enough. I could not get it quick enough. And I like the backs on this one a little better. I love the hex shape. It's like beeswax, right? Honeycombs. And the edging is done to match the backs with a little blue and a little black on the edge. And then on here, you got a little of the silver and gold that kind of comes through from the words I did in alchemy are either in gold or silver. And I did the same thing. I stretched it out a bit. I used some words that I related to, but mostly words from the guidebook. I just went back and forth with kind of the artwork. So this is one of the different cards because it's the void. It just has a few keywords on it because I figured the void, you know what that means. So if the artwork was more gold, I used the gold pen. If it was more black and white or silver, I used a silver pen. And there's one other card. What is it? That has like, oh, here we go, chaos, because it's chaotic. So I used the different colors of small pens and put them all over the place instead of just on the edges. But yeah, that is my Kim Cran's alchemy deck. And what this does when you when you do all the words on the borders and stuff, Shuffle Tarot, that's her name, Mia. What happens is you don't need the guidebook anymore because you begin to understand what these cards mean and why those words have anything to do with those cards, and the different things you put in the card, whether they be paint or collage, begin to mean something just to you. So, yeah. Great, great. Kim Krantz. What a deck. So, yes, there we have it. My deck mods, my favorite ones. And thank you for coming. I'll be back.